Turn this down. Okay, so actually we'll try and keep it short. I don't have a lot of recording time left on my phone. I forgot to delete some videos. How's everybody doing? I got a new deck. It literally came today. And I am dying to use it. Which is good. Because I have had so much coming in today for the Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine, as well as the Twin Flame community. So, I'm going to first do a reading for the Divine Feminine, which does not mean to mean that you are female. That only means that you are carrying more of the feminine energy. Alright. So I can feel this energy taking over within the feminine collective of, it's time to get up and go. There's no more waiting. No more waiting around. There's no more, idle hands. There's been this feeling with the Divine Feminines that I have been keyed in on, of waiting for something. Something needs to happen before this happens. I need to see this before that. If this happens, then this, and it's really had us in a stalemate. Everything is for a purpose. There's been a lot of learning within that and a lot of our power growing until we are now at the point where we're not wanting to wait anymore. The people who are supposed to be with us on our journey are either with us or they'll catch up. But we're not going to sit here and, twiddle our thumbs anymore. We're going to make our own magic. So there's this real almost masculinity coming into that, I am woman, hear me roar. I can take care of myself. Not in a more shadowy way. It feels very balanced. There still is that aspect of wanting to be nurtured, and that's something that we can't forget, and we can't, just toss to the side. We need to remember that we need to be nurtured. We need to nurture ourselves, and we also need to nurture those around us. Okay, so let's see what comes through. Message for the Divine Feminine, please. Page of Swords. So this is an energy of learning, taking those first steps towards really doing what we need to do to take care of ourselves. King of Wands is that masculine in his power, that it is the culmination of stepping forth into our passion, into our power, into what it is that we're really being pulled to do. The Page of Swords on the other end of that is really that, it's the beginning of that knowing that these steps need to be taken, that walking the tightrope, getting from one side to the other, and going towards where it is that we're supposed to be doing. Please, oh my goodness, ignore my stuffiness if you can. It's driving me nuts. Hopefully it just sounds worse in my head than it does out loud. This is really something that it's being led, it's being guided. I don't know if you can see in the cards. It's all about passionate beginnings. There's this, this swirl of like the spirit around her of the elements. You have, these hawks that are flying up above. Hawks are all about that keen eye, that vision, that being able to notice the tiniest little movement and swoop down on it, knowing that exact moment that is right to hit. The Knight of Wands is the creation, that energy of creation. Very playful and youthful, bringing in that childlike energy to whatever it is that we're doing. When we remember to bring that energy in, we manifest and we create so much more powerfully and quickly. we forget as we are growing up how important it is to nurture that inner child, to keep that alive and well. We get so caught up in the dealings of the day-to-day that we kind of cast aside any sort of play or doing our work in a playful way. And it's a very important thing to remember. We cultivate our dreams and our passions much more powerfully when we are within that energy. What is the Divine Feminine coming from, please? So this is that palpable new beginning. It's something that is concrete. This is a new opportunity. These roots have been planted. They are growing. The first buds are popping up. And this is something that the Divine Feminine is doing on her own. Not to say that you don't have people around you that would be assisting you. That is a very balanced aspect of the Divine Feminine, knowing when help is needed and knowing how to accept that help. But this is something that's growing from your own hands, your own energy. This is your child, your baby, your passion. This is something for you. And in that, we come into more balance within ourselves and within those around us. This is a very grounded energy. There isn't, you notice that the Divine Feminine, there aren't cups out there. That's the water energy. That's our emotions. This is really stepping into the grounded aspects of life, that earthiness and that passionate fire inside. Those more masculine, assumed energies, really stepping into that as our own and saying, I can do this too. I've balanced out the emotional aspects of my being. And now it's important for me to really go out there and do on my own with the people around me that bring me happiness. The Ten of Pentacles is, the full Monty when it comes to our physical reality, our physical life. It's being secure financially, it's being secure emotionally, it's being secure with our relationships around us and with what it is that we have really cultivated. The Nine of Pentacles is a very single energy. It's a very taking care of myself. Hang on one second. Okay, so having gotten to this point and really taking care of ourselves, we're now having this bravery, let's say, this push to be able to go out and really say, what is it that I need now that I have this balance? Now that I'm feeling secure here, how do I really pull that security fully into myself and do me? What obstacles has the Divine Feminine had to overcome, please? Magician. This is the knowing that we have all of the tools. The knowing that we don't need outside sources to create our happiness. Tower, Four of Wands. The Tower is the destruction. Really going through something that has cleared away everything that wasn't helping us to get us further on our path. Really, it's like when we have that brush fire that comes through the forest and it clears away all of the lower underbrush and the dead trees and whatnot that wasn't really providing much benefit and was maybe choking out other things from being able to grow even stronger. And after that burns away, there's not only this extra space for more things to grow that would be beneficial or for, thank you, I don't know why I need cat food. Can you close the door, baby? To be able to grow stronger and more things that are more beneficial, but also what has been burned away provides nutrients then for that is coming in and growing. Hey, put her down, baby. Put her down. Put her down.
She was flopping.
And then the Four of Wands is this, after this is cleared away, this foundation can be created then. We have made the room for what it is that should be, what it is that needs to stand, and that's something that is celebratory. This feeling of knowing what needs to stay, of knowing what is permanent, of knowing what matters. The whole time we had the tools all for ourselves. We are the greatest alchemical, masters as women. We have such power within us that we have kind of been led out of remembering, put into this energy decades and decades ago that finally started to end, where, we lived in a very masculine time. Everything was the woman serves the man and the woman is there for the man and the man is more important. And that is an energy that is finally passing, this patriarchal energy. We're really starting to feel and understand the importance of the feminine, of the mother. Okay, Three of Pentacles and the Knight of Cups. From there, we find this full balance that comes in emotionally. This might also, Three of Pentacles, Knight of Cups. How do I feel about this? Give me a moment, please. Yeah, this is just like this creation of something incredible that you're making with those that are important around you, and that that emotional fulfillment that is being brought by being able to really take a step back and look at that full picture of where you've been and where you're at and where things are going. How fulfilling everything feels at that point. Any last messages for the Divine Feminine, please? What can we expect coming forward? Two of Pentacles, the beginning of creation. You know, that balance between, really just balance in general, keeping that balance. And the Queen of Swords is knowing what needs to stick and what needs to go. It's very decisive energy. My time's about to wrap up on my clock. I'm running out. And the Two of Cups. This is balanced emotional fulfillment being created within yourself, within your reality. This is beautiful. I hope that this was helpful. I will probably do another video tomorrow. My time being cut short is bumming me out. I'm going to go do the masculine, and then I'll do the twin flame community. Have an amazing leap day, guys. Okay. The feels are strong with you guys. Okay, so this is definitely something that is meaningful to your heart from the past. This is something where you look back on it and you feel fondly. It's definitely something that resonates with your heart. What is this thing, please? This energy I'm tapped into. It's a person. This is a relationship. I'm feeling this so hard in my heart, guys. Okay, so this is a relationship from your past. This is a relationship that probably brought out your inner child, that brought out that playful, fun energy, that I think that's part of the feeling of this betrayal. I think that a part of you is feeling like you betrayed yourself by not holding on to this. And I'm telling you that as disappointed as you are, I think that this other person is just as disappointed. I think that both of you are looking back on this relationship that was being built with this same feeling of longing, of reminisced memory. And what I'm feeling tells me that both of you want another shot at this. What went wrong here? So Justice is the card of Libra. So there could have been an outside influence. Maybe it was a Libra. It looks like there was a commitment that came in that was made to, could be a Libra. Hierophant is Taurus. If we are caring about signs, I typically don't like to focus too much on signs because it gets people off track. But this looks like something came that really tipped those scales. It almost feels like, I don't want to say like you were duped, we all have to be responsible for our own actions. But it's like there was this portal that opened and you walked through it and consequences came out, and we maybe didn't know what those consequences were, but now we're gaining that enlightenment and that knowing. This portal was a battle. It's just been battle after battle after battle. I feel like I can't catch my breath, and not just because of my cold. I feel like I can't catch my breath, and it's like as soon as I'm done fielding off one attack or one event or one fight, a problem, something else comes up. I feel like now we're getting to that point where we're tuning into our inner being, finding that silence, that still point within ourselves, and really tuning into our heart in that moment to try and find what is it that makes me happy? Where was that last moment in time where I can really feel that there was ease, that there was joy, that I could just be. I was just being, and I wasn't always doing. And even when I was doing, there was more joy to it. It felt like there was purpose to it. Like something was being built and created that was worth it. But this is lessons being learned now. We're sitting here circling in our head over and over. What did I do? Somebody lost here. There's blood that is shed. There were tears that were shed. And there's this cycling over and over in our head, replaying events, wondering if I do this, what will happen? If I do that, what will happen? But there's guidance in there. There's spirit that comes in. There's our ancestors, our guides, angels, whatever your belief is, that are trying to bring some direction to you. When we still those thoughts, when we get to this, that can more readily come in. We can feel the resonance inside of our being when there is some sort of a guidance that comes in, when there is an inkling of something in our intuition that we could pause for a moment and say, how does this make me feel? And when we get this pulling in a direction that feels right, we can feel that when we're giving ourselves those still moments. And we're more easily able to decipher when our ego, our fear, our worries are what is, circling in our mind. We really get out of that place then of repeating cycles. High Priestess, that's our intuition, that is our knowing, that is our connecting to the divine. Her eyes are closed and she can still see. There's still I love these cards. They're so beautiful. I don't know if that's actually, it doesn't look like it's focusing. But this is our connection with the divine. This is the knowing that when we take in those still moments, we will receive that guidance, that we are connected to the all that is, that we're not lost, and that we have a knowing and trusting in that knowing. The High Priestess just knows. She is the higher spiritual aspect, the elevated, more etherical aspect of the Empress, where the Empress is the all-knowing in the physical realm, the knowing that all is right, that all is just, that she's the creation of everything. She embodies, all of the elements and is the creator. She's the divine mother. She is connected to the above and the below, and this is the above. This is the intuitive aspect. We really have that knowing, and we trust that knowing. We're not doubting it. We're not discrediting it or pushing it away. We're sitting in those still moments and we're following it. Okay, so I have a lot of cards that came out. I'm not going to put them all down, but I am going to take a look. Okay, so when we take this leap, when we finally get to the point where we are done fighting, we're done climbing these mountains, we take this leap past that, we begin to find this emotional fulfillment. We begin to follow even more and more what is our heart center telling us. And as we're following that, we are really feeling this balance coming in between, really everything. It's our shadow and our light, between, our emotions and our doing. There isn't this repeating of these cycles anymore. The cycle ends we start to release that, we will just let be what is supposed to be. We are trusting those intuitive feelings and our guidance, and knowing that we're going to be led down a positive path that is for our benefit, that we're ending the cycle of going over and over, and we're embracing a new cycle, that we're going to grow into something that is different, and that we're releasing our ego and we're stepping into this more spiritually heightened path. That doesn't need to be in a quote woo-woo way, as people like to say, but it is that knowing that there's something greater out there for us, and that what we've been doing isn't it. That we haven't found satisfaction here, and that there's something out there that is more balanced and more aligned. And it feels like this relationship is kind of the catalyst of that. More emotional. That's what just came up before. The Queen of Cups. She's the all-knowing in the emotional space of what is. Yes, baby?
Now you're gonna hang up the banner.
Oh, I'll hang up the banner tonight so it doesn't fall off the wall, okay?
Wait, why aren't you gonna hang it up outside?
You want to hang it up outside? We could try to find a way to do that. Okay?
But we don't have any string.
I'll figure it out. Pinky promise.
We do have duct tape.
The cards aren't going to come out when you're here. You
What?
distracted me. We'll figure it out. Pinky promise, okay? Can you give me a couple minutes?
Can I try to?
Okay. Sorry. The Queen of Cups and the Fool. The Queen of Cups is very balanced in her emotions. She isn't. But this actually, I feel like this is coming forth as another person, and where they're at now. I feel like you're walking towards this point of the Queen of Cups and this emotional balance and knowing, and maturity within it, and then taking this leap into this new beginning. We got the flower of life here, sacred geometry. It is the beginning of all. It is the interconnectedness of all. It's this is really that trust. It's like a trust fall. She's really trusting that if she takes this leap, even falling backwards, she's going to be fully supported by the energies around her. And we get to that point when we're following our emotional space. We're following those feelings, our feelings, and where that is bringing us. Chariot, and we make movement. What is the obstacles that the Divine Masculine is needing to overcome here? Okay, so there's a concern over money. If I do this, what is going to happen to me financially? Not seeing a way out, not seeing how that is something that can be taken care of. You are a manifester. You can create new beginnings. And again, a lot of that happens when we are following spirit. I think there's probably a part of you that knows this, but it's very easy for us to live in a fear-based mentality of not knowing what happens in the next chapter of life. It's why we stay in the places that we do as long as we do. The Black Cat with the Queen of Wands is the symbolism of spiritual intuition, though. So we're really tuning into, she's like, oh my gosh, it created fire. So in these cards and in most tarot cards, the little splotchies and the wispies, it is energy that is coming in from all around us. Everything is created of energy. Energy cannot be, or nothing can be created without energy. This is energy being pulled in with spirit, and this flame, which is the beginning of creation, it's being created simply from her own power. I love how happy she looks. I got a text message, so I don't know if that just stopped or not, but I commented that I absolutely love how happy she is. She has this elation to her. Guidance for the Divine Masculine. What steps should he be taking from here? Okay, so this is knowing that we are nurtured, that we are supported, that we are taken care of always. There's no look of concern on her face about how well she'll be taken care of. You are being guided to trust in this union, in this energy that you're having in this other person. This actually came up for the Divine Feminine as well. Trusting that the two of you are coming back together. I don't feel like you are communicating at all right now. I don't see Swords energy that says communication. I don't see the Eight of Wands that came through as communication. I think that this is a lot of spiritual connection. How is this connection playing out right now, please? This nose is making me crazy. I'm so sorry. It's just heartbreak right now. 3 Swords, heartbreak. Page of Wands. 2 of Pentacles. So it looks like the two of you are really juggling back and forth. How does this start? You know, where do we go from here? If this is something that we did do, this communication, I feel, is probably more spiritual, telepathic, if you will, than physical. I think that you're both kind of going through this experience individually and trying to figure out how to come together on this physically. You know, overcoming heartache. The 3 Swords keeps wanting to come out. There was a lot of heartache here. There's a lot of healing. I feel like the other person has gone through this healing. I feel like you are really finally on the verge of digging up those wounds and looking at them and saying, you know, what can I do to heal this? What can I do to feel fulfilled within myself and to know what to do from here? When we don't heal our wounds, we continue to create this cycle over and over again. And we'll live through this repetitively until we heal. Until we heal, until we heal. And we can't truly receive new guidance for stepping into a new chapter when we are repeating old cycles and won't learn our lesson from the previous. Alright, so things are going to have to be destroyed to get to this place of happiness. You know, but we're moving on to there. This is wish fulfillment. This is going towards our heart's desire. Allowing this metamorphosis of what was to be transformed into what should be. And knowing that we have to have faith in what is coming next from there. You know, that happiness does lie on the other side of this, even if it is difficult to feel within that moment. We are forever creating music with life, with energy around us. We are creating this beautiful song. And I feel like your song at this point has been a little bit melancholy, let's say. You know? But when we step forward and we stand in our power, we have that strength to say, I'm creating something new. There's decisions that come in front of us. We go back to that centered place to listen to our heart so we know which decision to make so we're not getting bitten by more snakes. You know, making wrong decisions, being deceived, going in places, and it doesn't need to be deceived by another person, but even us deceiving ourselves and making choices that aren't best for ourselves. You know, when we're making choices out of fear and staying in stagnation. We need to be decisive. Queen of Swords, you know, she knows how to make a decision. She doesn't just sit there wondering and waiting for somebody else to make this decision for her. You know, this is, excuse me, this is like any of the queens that are in Game of Thrones, you know. Daenerys doesn't just sit there and wait for somebody else to tell her if she should free these people or if she should move on to this land or if she should, you know, take her dragons with her or whatever. And Cersei certainly isn't sitting there waiting for somebody else to make a decision for her. She's there ready to cut heads if that's what needs to happen for the better of her and what she holds near and dear to her. While I certainly don't think she should go chopping people's heads off. You know, this is the card of a person who does have that reflective thought, who can look out there and stay connected with the energies around her, bringing in that guidance. But she also has, if you see down here, a cup is that's the emotion in the tarot. She still has that heart-centered base in there that she's keeping. It might be locked up in there, you know, but it's like it's locked up safe. She's learned how to protect her emotions at this point and keep them in a balanced check. You know, she doesn't get carried away with them and go and lash out and do things that are based in solely emotion. She has that balance with that logic there, knowing how to make decisions so that at the end of the day, she or he, as it may be, ends up in the place that is best for them and for those that are nearest and dearest to them, and knows that those that are not coming with her on this journey anymore will end up where they should be, which is always better aligned for them. And, you know, that anything else that has to be left behind in the end transforms into its own beautiful butterfly. And everything is supported. We are taken care of. Okay. I don't really know that I have anything else to pull from there. This feels pretty well-rounded. You know, there's a lot of emotion coming up about, it seems, a relationship from the past. I have a feeling that this story is going to come up more in the Twin Flame video I'm going to do. So, you know, look forward to that. I'm sure we'll get some more insight there. And I have a sneeze coming. Oh my goodness. This is the purge that does not end. So healing this heartbreak from letting this go, knowing that this other person recognizes that, oh, here's another one. Oh my goodness. I just keep sneezing. Knowing that this other person understands that lessons needed to be learned for both of you, that you both grew stronger out of this, and you know, I don't feel these hard feelings coming through on either of your ends. It feels very loving and gentle and soft, and like maybe there's just a little bit of lostness about how do we bring this back together again, and what does that look like? You know, what comes after that? But I think that I really feel that the two of you will be able to figure that out together, and that you'll be better off figuring it out together. It's always you know, more fun and easy breezy when we have a team helping us out with anything, right? There's very few things that we actually want to do alone. And this is certainly not one of those things that I think that you want to do alone. I feel like you have probably kept pushing this down and pushing it away because you thought that that was how you were going to heal. But I don't think that that's the case. I think that all you've done is create a big scar over your heart. And that scar is breaking open again because our heart doesn't like to be scarred, right? Our heart wants to be whole and healed. So this is coming up again for healing. And I think in my heart of hearts that if the two of you do this together, you will be able to find a genuine balance of happiness for the both of you, whatever that winds up meaning. You know, it's different for everybody. But this really does feel beautiful, and I really hope that anybody who listens to this takes it to heart if it resonates and has that courage to step out of what has become their comfort zone and really become the lion. You know, the lion is not a quiet animal. The lion roars. So go roar.